So this is our May user group call for the user experience, user interface design, and accessibility user group within Power Platform. So we are a Microsoft community, so we abide by the Microsoft Event Code of Conduct, which basically means be nice to each other. We've got a diverse group of people who join us, so be respectful of their opinions. There is a number there and an email address that you can contact if you have any issues. You can also contact myself, Anya, or Kat. So as I say, we're asking everyone to be welcoming, respectful, and considerate of others. Feel free to express your viewpoints. So we encourage questions, we encourage discussion, but please consider all the differences of opinion and accept other opinions. Feel free to use the Q&A, or alternatively, you can raise your hand and then you can ask a question, or you can just use the chat feature and discuss things. And yeah, if you would like to have presenters talking about different topics, let us know what you want to know about, and we can go and search out those experts within those particular niches, I suppose. So just some housekeeping, we're recording this, we'll upload it to YouTube within the next 24 hours. If you don't wish to be seen on the recording, of course, keep your camera off. And please use the meeting reactions. So when there's something that you're enjoying, give it a love heart, give it a clap, that kind of thing. So we have a call for speakers. At the moment, I think the call for speakers will only allow you to submit for July. We've already got speakers for June, who we'll announce at the end of the hour. So if you want to apply for July, go ahead. If you want to apply for further afield, you could still go for the call for speakers now, or you can wait for us to release the new schedule for it. But basically, every month we're looking for new speakers on all of the things within Power Platform related to user experience, user interface design, and accessibility. So today we have two speakers who we haven't had before. I'm very excited to have them here. So we've got Juliana Smith and Arjan Rijsdijk. I'm sorry, I butchered the name. I'm trying my best. So we're covering Power BI with Juliana, which is uncovering the secrets of dashboard design. And with Arjan, we're looking at Playwright, which is for automating user interface testing, which is something that Microsoft have been encouraging with Power Platform. So it's very interesting to see a demonstration of it. I haven't personally looked into it, and I'm very interested in that. And of course, with Juliana's, most of us are having to deal with Power BI reports. So it'd be nice to know how we should be building them. So yeah, Juliana, if you're ready, please feel free to take it away.
Welcome, everyone, and thanks a lot for joining today's session on uncovering the secrets of dashboard design. For those who don't know me, my name is Juliana Smith. My background is in physical oceanography and data science, but since 2020, I have specialized in Power BI and user interface design. And for the past year and a half, I have been studying a lot digital accessibility framework. Currently work as a performance and analytics specialist at BOC UK and Ireland, and I'm a creator of the blog Smart Frames UI and the YouTube channel Accessible BI. So today we're going to unlock the secrets behind powerful dashboard design, how we can guide our users to insights before they even realize they're looking for them. Our goal today is to go beyond visuals that just look good. We want dashboards that feel intuitive and actually drive decisions. So we're going to focus on three areas. First one is design, perception, and action. Imagine you are presented with these overwhelming dashboards, which is packed with cluttered visuals, inconsistent formatting, and scattered data points and scattered visuals all around. Does this guide your decisions or confuse you? So this scenario highlights why thoughtful design is not just a nice to have, but it's critical for driving insights and action. So the example that we have just seen is a perfect example of what happens when design takes a backseat. A dashboard should simplify complex information and not make it harder to understand. So in terms of effective design, we should look to simplify complexity. So without structure, data becomes noise. A well-designed dashboard organizes information logically. It removes unnecessary clutter and makes insights instantly clear. And these will allow our users to focus on what actually matters. It also enhances storytelling. So numbers alone don't tell a story. Design does. An intentional layout, color usage, and data hierarchy ensure the right insights stand out, making it easier for users to grasp trends and patterns. It also promotes accessibility. So a dashboard should be useful by everyone, in terms of experience from executive to analyst, as well as abilities and disabilities. So readable text, clean layout, color contrast, and intuitive navigation, they all create a seamless user experience. And it also helps us driving impact. So ultimately, a well-designed dashboard empower the users to make informed decisions, uncover opportunities, and drive actions. And when data is presented clearly, businesses can act faster, smarter, and with confidence. So effective design is about making data clear, engaging, and accessible for everyone. Effective dashboards are tools that transform information into actionable insights. Purposeful design ensures that users not only see the data, but they also understand it, empowering them to make confident decisions. So when designing with purpose, we should focus on user-centric principles that helps enhancing clarity, usability, and impact. And here are four key elements that we can take in consideration. First one is alignment. Alignment is a fundamental principle in thoughtful design because it ensures clarity and consistency and also easy of navigation. So when the elements are properly aligned, there is a sense of order where users can understand information more easily, reducing cognitive load and making sites more accessible. To achieve a great alignment, we can use grid lines to maintain consistent spacing and structure the visuals logically. And by focusing on alignment, we can create dashboards that are intuitive, accessible, as well as visually engaging. And the next one is white space. That's probably one of the most underrated principles. So if you ever felt overwhelmed looking at a cluttered screen, white space, also known as negative space, is usually the remedy. So it separates elements, reduces visual noise, and gives users a chance to focus on what matters most. And to make the most of white space, all we have to do is avoid overcrowding visuals. We can also group related elements and use padding to create balance. When your dashboard is cleaner, it also helps our users to focus on what that actually matters. And then we have hierarchy. So dashboards and reports often convey a lot of information, but not all the data holds equal weight. Hierarchy helps leading the user's eyes to the most important insights first. Whether it's through bold headings, you can also use prominent visuals or strategic placement of key metrics. And then we have consistency. So this plays a key role on dashboard experience. When the elements follow a uniform structure, users can navigate and interpret the data with ease. And consistent layouts help our users to quickly understand and interact with the dashboard. Consistency also helps reducing cognitive load, which is the amount of effort that we need to take into understand what is being presented. Predictable patterns make it easier for our users to focus on the insights rather than trying to figure out how it works, rather than figuring out what is the layout. So By refining alignment, spacing, hierarchy, and consistency, we can create purpose-driven dashboards, which will ultimately empower our users to quickly find and act on insights. So now that we cover a little bit about purposeful design, let's talk about how people actually process information. So design is not just about the structure, it's also about understanding how human brain sees, scans, and interprets data. If we align our dashboards with natural perception patterns, they will become instantly easier to understand and navigate. So when viewing dashboards or any website or any page that you can think of, users naturally scan the screen pattern shaped like the letter Z or F. So by placing the most critical information like key metrics or titles along those paths, we can ensure that our audiences see what's the most important first. When we have heavy content page, like if you have a blog with a lot of text, usually the F pattern is a better option. But with cleaner pages, we are more biased towards the Z pattern. Something else that's really important is contrast. So contrast is a powerful tool for guiding attention in dashboard design. Not all data points are equally significant, and using contrast effectively ensures that key insights stand out. So both colors, the right font sizes, and shadings can help to emphasize the most important information, making it easier for users to focus on what matters first. So our eyes are naturally drawn to high contrast elements first. So we can use these. You can use these strategically, applying contrast to help directing our users to what is critical. Additionally, our brain also processes color before text. And this means that well-chosen contrast can speed up comprehension and improve readability. So there is nothing wrong with these charts that is on the screen. Everything looks the same-ish. But if we highlight the most important message, you don't need to actually try to figure out what's happening, because the purple columns that are highlighted, they already stand out in front of you. Something else that we need to keep in mind is that different colors evoke different responses. So warm colors like red, orange, and yellow grab attention, while cool colors like blue, green, they create a sense of calm and neutrality. And here is another example. So we see that the KPI cards are in bold and there is a high contrast color. And these make those cards stand out on this page, which makes very easy to see where the key metrics are located. Now let's imagine again that we are opening a dashboard like the first example with everything feels scattered around. Without grouping, dashboards can become overwhelming and very hard to navigate. And we can follow Gestalt principles, and that will help us to understand how we naturally perceive and group visuals elements. So understanding some of the Gestalt principles will help us to create more meaningful connections within our dashboard. So the first type of grouping is by similarity. So, which is a key principle that enhances clarity, usability, and accessibility as well. So when related elements are visually grouped together, users can process information more efficiently. That will also help reducing the cognitive load and make the insights easier to find. Our brains naturally seek patterns and connection, meaning that similar colors, shapes, and alignment signal relationships. Computer froze. Right, so it's a signal relationships between data points or between different visuals as well. So when we leverage this tendency, our dashboards can create a logical visual structure that helps our users scanning through our reports. So this is an example that by the use of similar colors. So we have in all the three charts, they are also using the for female, it's only one specific color, and for males is a different color. And even on the column chart that has for different years, we can easily see which one is showing data for female and which one is showing for male. And the other two, the donut charts, they are different visuals, but because our brain kind of is going to start seeking out for the color for a female or male, that will help as well in understanding what we have. And the next one is grouping by proximity. So placing chart elements close to each other indicates their relationship. For instance, positioning data labels near the corresponding data helps our viewers to easily associate the labels with specific data points or categories. So grouping by proximity is also very powerful. Human perception naturally associates elements that are close together. Sorry. And relate. Our perception associates that the elements that are close together as related, and that will make it easier for us to focus in process information in a quicker and intuitive way. So we can try, for example, to place related metrics, charts, and filters near each other. And these will help our users to understand connections. Another example is by positioning the KPI cards, for example, close to relevant visualizations. And this can ensure that users can immediately see how the key metrics relate to trends and patterns. So here is an example. This is a really good example by grouping for grouping by proximity. Here you can see that the data is related data are close together, and that will make comparisons much easier. So, for example, we have a logical data clustering. So if you see the KPI cards, for each one of them, you have the average ratio for female and male, and the ratio for male and female, they're close together, and this is that's closer to the primary GPI, and we have the same for the other KPI cards. We also have the donut chart, and there is a data label inside. And because they're close to that donut chart, we instantly see that as related. And we also have a visual and numerical alignment. So the pie charts, they will represent the overall average for male and female. And right on the side, we have the column chart that is also the split between male and female, but with like on a time series. And finally, we have grouping by boundary or enclosure. So think of borders or shaded backgrounds and containers. And these will help users to instantly recognize which elements belong together. And that will also make the navigation much easier. The enclosure principle is the strongest of all the Gestalt principles. Our mind seems to prioritize this principle over any other. And with this principle, we create, as you see, a clear boundary that groups like objects within the same bounded region. So if you go back to the KPI cards from the previous example, we can see that we have average ratio for female and male occurring 3 times, but we have a clear boundary between the 3 type of metrics, that is the primary, secondary, and tertiary JPI. So we instantly know that the first 2 on the left, they are related to the primary JPI because they are all inside the same frame. And we also have grouping by connection. So whenever we have lines, arrows, and linking elements, they show relationship between data points. And when it's well implemented, users will intuitively follow the data flow without needing extra explanation. And a very good example is when we have line charts. Line charts, they actually connect different data sets. And even though there is a legend here just to say which color and which icon, what they are, you can see that if you follow them, you will know straight away there is something over time. So you don't need to explain much further other than this. And when we apply visual grouping principles, we design dashboards that will guide the users. They will not need to make any kind of effort to understand what is being presented to them. So if you want to design intuitive dashboards, we definitely have to design for how people actually see. And we can very well leverage perception pattern, contrast, and grouping. We can create dashboards that are clear and impactful. Now let's focus on a key principle that elevates dashboards from static reports to powerful decision-making tools, which is interactivity. A well-designed interactive dashboard engage our users, giving them the ability to explore data on their own terms. So instead of just presenting a one-size-fits-all view, interactive elements allow that different users will uncover the insights that is most relevant to them. And there are different ways that we can add interactive elements in our dashboards. We can add the most common, which are filters and slices. So these will allow us to customize our users' experience. Filters and slices allow the users to refine the data they see, ensuring the insights are tailored to specific needs. Tooltips are also a good option to provide additional details when hovering over visuals. So it is, in theory, perfect for adding depth without adding clutter. However, it's very important to know that tooltips are not compatible with screen readers, and this can limit accessibility. So to overcome this, we can also include accessible alternatives, such as buttons that will contain alternative text. And these would ensure that all users can access key information as well. And then we have the use of drill-throughs. So drill-throughs mean go deeper. So these will empower our users to explore different layers of data without overloading the main dashboard. And this will help creating a seamless storytelling experience as well. And something that is very important, if we have all the navigation options, it has to be intuitive. So we need to make the experience seamless. So if you have buttons, tooltips, and anything that's linked within the same report or between different reports, we have to make sure that all of these links are intuitive and they actually work. So we need to test everything before we hand it over to our users. So when we integrate interactivity, we help our users to quickly find and act on the insights because they will tailor to what they need. And then we have accessibility. So designing a dashboard is also about creating an inclusive experience for every user. And accessibility is a critical factor in ensuring that insights are available to everyone, including users with disabilities. And to ensure that our dashboards are accessible, we should consider, first of all, support screen readers. So Power BI by default is compatible with screen readers. Although from the developer side, we need to ensure that graphic elements, icons, buttons, they all have alternative text. Because that's how screen reader users will understand and fully comprehend the dashboard's content. And then we also have used high contrast themes. So it's very important to improve readability, especially for users with low vision. And a strong contrast ratio between the text or graphic elements and its background will help enhance clarity. And we can follow the WCAG framework for that level of compliance AA, which states that for normal text, which is up to 17 points, we should aim for 4.5.1 in terms of color contrast ratio. And if it's a large text, which is above 18 points, or if in bold, above 14, we should try to aim for at least a contrast ratio of 3:1. And next is we should avoid color-only indicators. Some visual impairments, for example, color blindness, means that some of the users may struggle to differentiate certain colors and interpret the data if the only distinction is color. So we can add labels, icons, and alternative formats to improve accessibility. And then we also had keyboard navigation. Again, it is a built-in feature in Power BI, so we don't need to worry about that. But we need to make sure that the tab order, which is if you navigate your dashboard just by hitting the tab key, you have to make sure that it will follow the order that is intended for your viewers to consume the report. So we should not confuse tab order with layer order. They're different things. And tab order is very, very important to ensure that people consume the report in the correct way. And then simplified tooltips. So tooltips don't work well with screen readers. So considering adding buttons with alternative text, and these alternatives will ensure that if the insight is important, they're not missed. And we have the use of clear fonts. So stick to simple, readable fonts. They are easy to process. Avoid overly decorative styles. They can reduce clarity. In terms of font size, we should try to use the minimum size should be 12 points. So aim for above 12. And then when we integrate accessibility practices, we create dashboards that are usable and inclusive. And there are studies that confirm that by designing for accessibility, you also enhance the user experience for everyone. In terms of layout, so when designing dashboards, layout plays a pivotal role. So we need to organize elements strategically, and this will help to ensure that the users can navigate information and focus on the right insights. So here are some best practices for page layout. The first one, we have top for key insights. Place summary metrics and high-level KPIs at the top for immediate visibility. And then we have left for navigation. Position any filters, slices, menu options on the left. And these support intuitive exploration. So this kind of pattern we are all used to it because you navigate in websites, and that is the kind of pattern that is frequently used in websites. And depending on the number of filters or interactive links you have, you can also place those on the top right. And then center for visual. Showcase central charts and graphs where the users can focus on a detailed analysis. So you can, if you have the KPIs on the top, you can add visuals that will give a little bit more depth to the data that you provided. And then we have bottom for trends. So display secondary information such as historical data or trends at the bottom. And most importantly, limit the number of visuals. So keep the number of visuals between 5 to 7 per page to avoid clutter and maintain focus. Keep in mind that if the users cannot find the insights in under 5 seconds, you've lost them. And some common pitfalls, we have too much information. So a dashboard should simplify data and not overload users. So cramming too many metrics, charts, and tables creates cognitive load. And this will make it harder for our users to find relative insights. So prioritize KPIs instead of displaying everything. You can also use progressive disclosure, which will reveal details only when needed. And we should keep the layout simple without distractions. And then the next pitfall is wrong visuals. So not every chart serves the same purpose. Choosing the wrong visual can mislead users or obscure key insights. So for example, pie charts often fail to show precise comparisons. And bar charts may not be ideal for time trends. Similarly, line charts should only be used for continuous data. If we use them for categorical data, we'll be creating misleading connection between unrelated data points. So make sure that you select your visuals based on the story you're telling. Line charts for trends, bar charts for comparisons, scatter plots for relationships. And then we have no user focus. So a dashboard should be designed for its audience. And what works for an analyst may not be suitable for an executive who needs quick high-level insights. So tailor your dashboards for your user groups. One size fits all rarely works. And then poor interactivity is another issue. So a static dashboard may limit your user engagement. The users should be able to explore and filter the data to uncover insights. So when we focus on clarity, choosing the right visuals and understanding the user, dashboards will become intuitive, impactful, and actionable. So we can move away from this cluttered view to a dashboard where the layout is streamlined, it has consistent spacing, well-established visual hierarchy, good color contrast, and also has it's also accessible. To wrap up, dashboards are more than just data display. They are your chance to guide and empower your audience. By design with intention, we can shape how users interact with information, creating clarity and focus. Leveraging how we naturally perceive visuals allow us to lead our audience effortlessly and connect them with the insights they need. And remember, when you show less, say more, you leave no room for noise, just meaningful impact and impactful insight. With these principles in mind, we are ready to create dashboards that just don't deliver data, but drive understanding. For more on accessible design, feel free to follow my blog. Let's move from design fails to design wins. Thank you.
That was fantastic, Juliana. Thank you. If anyone has any questions, I think if you can just put them in the chat for now and we can address them that way because we're guessing on for time. But yeah, that was brilliant. Thank you very much. Arjan, if you're ready to take it away.
Yeah, I'm ready. Thank you very much. Thank you, Juliana. Okay, let's get started. Let's talk about automated testing. First of all, this is me from the Netherlands, Power Platform consultant at a company DT Next in Aalsmeer. I live near Rotterdam, not in Rotterdam, just a small village, but well, I can smell it, so it's close to me. I would like to talk about testing today. And I promise you, it won't be as boring as it sounds. We've got something in common in the group here, I think, because we all love to build beautiful apps, user-friendly apps, or Power BI dashboards or Power Page sites, things like that. But all those beautiful solutions needs to be developed, or it needs to be tested properly. But there's always one problem, at least at the projects I'm working at. it's a bit time consuming and not always the attention not always the attention it needs. But what do we need to test when we build apps? Well, we need to test a lot of things like APIs, data. But let's focus on UI for today because we're in a pretty cool UI UX user group at the moment. And when we take a look at UI testing, there are a couple of subjects we need to test: usability, functionality, the consistency, all kind of things I heard earlier today by Juliana. And the regression prevention, I think that's, well, we all know the drill, like we're putting or changing some little button and the whole app reacts in a different way. So that's an important thing. And accessibility. The accessibility thing is, well, we'll come on that later on in the session. But when we take a look at UI testing and all the things we need to test, we have a little bit of extra challenge. And there's this challenge. Because when we build responsive apps or just different apps for different devices, we all need to test all these devices, all these viewports, all these different screens we're working on. So if you take a look at, well, we want to make sure everything works on all surfaces, all screens, and all devices. The mobiles, the tablets, the laptops, the desktops, other displays, well, can you imagine? And watches, well, I'm just kidding, but maybe in the future we'll build watch apps for with Power Platform. But again, it's a very time-consuming task because, well, do we have all these devices? I don't think so, not always. So let's take a look at what if we could speed up this testing? What if we could create one test, just one single test, just doing an action in a Power App or just navigating to a Power Pages website or things like that, and just run it over a diversity of the devices and viewports in one test? And what if we could automate these tests in our pipelines? So when we run a pipeline from development to the test environment, why not automate these tests and give us some feedback on if all these tests will work, or screenshots, how it looks like on all the different devices and screens? But we can, because we got Playwright, and Playwright pretty cool. What's Playwright? Well, like the website says, it enables reliable end-to-end testing for modern web apps. Well, that's first good on, because if you take a look at Canvas apps, Power Pages, these are modern web apps. So that's one. Not many people know it's an open source product from Microsoft. So it's a Microsoft product. It has a big community, and well, you can find a lot of YouTube movie videos, blogs, and things like that. So, well, after the session, dive into it, because it's easy to use, and I got to show you in a minute. Another thing, well, yeah, it's a product from Microsoft, but, well, I'm not lying. It's 100% free, no licensing, no costs at all. So you can start using it right away without licensing. Another thing cool to mention here, I don't know if any one of you ever used the Test Studio, Power Apps Test Studio, a pretty cool functionality. It uses Playwright under the hood just for recording your tests. So good to know. If you take a look at Playwright, well, first take a look at the Test Studio, because Test Studio is in the Power Platform itself, right? So it's very handy, because when you're developing, you can run a test and you have some results there. but there are a couple of things not working really properly, like some modern controls and things like that. So if you take a look at Playwright, the test studio is only available in the Canvas app situation, like the studio where you're working in. And Playwright can do the same in a slightly different way, but it's cross-browser, cross-platform, and cross-language. So you can use it on all modern web apps. The cool thing with Playwright, it's the same thing, a bit like the test studio I mentioned earlier, is CodeGen. CodeGen is the functionality that lets you record your actions, your navigation from your app, and it turns it into a test script. So we're going to see it in a minute. The other cool thing is the automatic page inspection. It reads your HTML, but in case of Microsoft, it's a bit scary too, because I don't know if some of you ever took a look at the HTML behind your Canvas app. It's a lot, and well, I think some real HTML developers are not very proud to see what Microsoft made of it. But well, Playwright works, so no problem there. But keep that in your mind. Well, like I mentioned earlier, you can run your test, even one test on multiple devices. You can write tests specific for devices. So the flexibility is enormous when it comes to viewports and devices. Different ways of your information, your reports, or your just to check what, well, when my test is run, what did it do? Did it fail? Did it go okay? You can add screenshots to your reports and things like that. And well, yeah, that's, I think, for the project I'm working on at the moment, the most cool one, because it's integrated. You can integrate it with every CI provider there is. Well, mostly used in my case is the DevOps or the GitHub situation. It's very easy to add that to your pipeline. So to get started, how I got started with Playwright. It's well, is it local? Yeah, I think it's a bit local. But it's for you to to determine if it is. But I think the recording option makes it easy to use. But we need Visual Studio Code. Some people are always, well, oh, but I'm not a coder. No problem. You can just download an extension. I'm going to show you in a minute. You need a little bit of JavaScript or TypeScript knowledge, just a little bit, or just a good blog, or the website of Playwright explains things very well. And of course, we need a Power App or a Power Page just to get it done. Just first tip, if you like to play around with Playwright, just go to playwright.dev and click on in the left menu on the Get Started VS Code topic, because there's a video there and information to get you started in 5 minutes, I think. And how does it work? Well, yeah, it's pretty simple, because we go to a URL. Well, every app has a URL within the Power Platform. We navigate through the app, just clicking, navigating, going to screens or pages. We perform our actions, just filling in forms, removing information. We stop the recording and we run it. Easy as that. And of course, we can improve it and we can adjust it and we can add assertions to it and things like that. So, well, enough talking. Let's take a look. I've got my Visual Studio Code here, so don't be afraid. It's very easy. When we take a look at the extensions, just to start there, you have just you have an extension, a Playwright extension. You got some code snippets here, pretty cool stuff you can find here. This is the one you need, Playwright test for VS Code, and it looks like this. Stay here. And what you see here is just the interface for doing some stuff with Playwright. I'll come on all the options later on, but let's start a test. And you see here, we have the record the new test. Let's click that one. And what he's doing now, he's opening up a Chromium browser because on the left side, I had a project Chromium. So I selected the Chromium browser just to record this test. I go to playwright.dev. And go to the docs. And like I mentioned earlier, let's go to the, oh, here it is. Getting started VS Code. Down a bit, or just click here. And you see here, you've got some recording option to stop. And when I stop it, my browser is still open. And what you see in the background, he's created a spec.ts because I choose a TypeScript interface for my Playwright. It's a question you get when you install the extension. Do you want JavaScript or do you want TypeScript? Well, I choose TypeScript. And now he's creating a test case for me. And what you see here is, well, he's just going to the website and found some locators for me, the get role by a link with name docs, the getting started VS Code, and then the other option. Well, 3 steps. When I click the play button here, let's see. Let's do it again. There it is. He's just running the script, doing the actions you did, clicked it, and well, he's giving me a sign that I did good. If you take a look at the browser and we put it back, well, we're forgetting something. So we need to expand this test. I can go to my script, and I can click the record add cursor. It's giving me the browser, so I can do the setup CI. And let's go to fixtures. Relation, it's a good one. So I got some new clicks here. I'm stopping the browser again. Let me check this one. Let's play it. It's opening up the browser. And there it is. So pretty simple just to record your steps, actions, and things like that. But well, this is quite a simple website. What we all need is to test a Canvas app. And just to show you, I have it in my other screen, so I have to. Whoop. This is just a simple Canvas app I'm working on. Some time registration, not done yet, so good time to start testing. I've got some lines of code, lines of registrations here, and it's a responsive website. So it changes like the way we use devices or viewports. Well, and just to show you how easy this one is, I'm keeping the Chromium on. I'm starting the Canvas app way. And he's doing all kinds of actions like I told him to do. And if you take a look at the test, and just good to know, if I go to my editor or my file view, the spec TS files are saved in the tests folder. So when you click a new test or you want to create a new test, create it in this folder, and it gives you this file, some standard information we need just to test, and this is the test I've created. And what you see here, I'm going to these are environment settings in the background. So this is my URL to my Canvas app, and then I want to well, maybe you know, I'm using a new user with no license. So you get the box like, well, you do not have a license, and I am getting a notification like, well, this is development environment. So I want to click it away, and there's 2 buttons for that. So that's in my test. So to remove them, and then I toggle my navigation, and what you see here is when I move the. Let's do it like this. That is when I move the. Not anymore because I clicked it now. Sorry. You see the locators here. The overview click. Oh well, he's doing it again. So you see in your browser what you're clicking in your test, and I'm creating a screenshot. Well, we come to that in a minute. But we have all kinds of actions defined here. And the cool thing with Playwright, let's open up the thing. In my settings, my config file, it's a bit of long file with all kinds of viewports and devices I've created. So what you can do, standard, you have the Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit browser. So the Apple and the Edge and Chrome browser, but you can add all kinds of viewports or devices to your testing, to your tests, where you can, well, check if it's doing what it needs to be doing on the devices. And let me see this one, because for, oh, here it is. And if you take a look at, we're now working from Visual Studio Code, and there's a slightly new, well, it's not very new, but it's quite a new functionality, is the UI mode. And let's start the UI mode. And what you see here is a UI mode to just test and follow your test. And what you see here is projects. My Chromium browser, I've got one selected. So let's do iPad, iPhone, viewport, and Chromium. And when I run the test now, it's running the test again on all devices. And when I click a test, I can follow what he's doing during the test. So if you are developing or just want to run tests and see the results live on your screen, the UI mode is the best way to do it, because, you see, well, let's take the last one. This is the default Chromium, and if I click on the iPad viewport, you see it is slightly different. And if I take the iPhone, it's again different. So we see all kind of devices now running the same test in one click. When we go back to the VS Code test script, because, well, yeah, it's cool to navigate and to do actions and things like that, but we want to test the user interface when it's becoming a little screen. So are my buttons still there? Can I still click my my items and things like that? So I've created a script, and for now I will run it. Firstly, head it in the browser here, and what it does, to open it up, it navigates, and well, it goes to the list, and it's going very fast, and that's good, because if you can find it, he is very fast in doing actions. So what I did here is I'm going to the form, fill in the form, select a date, like a date picker, drop-down boxes, and text fields and things like that. And it runs in the browser, and well, you saw I've created a new item. But what we have in this scenario, we have a new item button here. So it's a big button. And we want to see if it works on all devices. So when I go to my UI mode again, and when I go to the new registration here, and well, let's run it now. And again, he's creating screenshots, temporary screenshots of all actions he's doing in some seconds. And what we see here is, well, he's putting in a nice new entry. And I see the new item button here. And well, when I go to the iPhone frame, it's telling me it's not, it's filled. Why is it filled? Well, let me show you, because in my case, I'm making another button visible. So the little button here with the plus is a different button than the new item button I was looking for. And if you take a look at my test here, it is. This piece of code, the expect is an assertion you can use just to check if elements are in your user interface available and visible in your user interface. So in this case, he's checking, well, is it visible? When it's not visible, he's giving me an error. Now, in this case, I have the error button is not visible, just to give you an idea on how it works. And what you see here is the button is not visible as a message to me, like it filled. But if you take a look at, well, this is cool because we have UI mode, right? We have an interface from Playwright right on our screen, and we can follow all these devices and things happening. But what about testing and after, well, doing a deployment to your next environment? There's also something like a HTML report. Let me show you that one. It's opening up now. It's always looking at the last test it's been running, and what you see here is just an HTML report. I've got one test, and I got two field tests. And if you take a look at the field test, you see here the button is not visible. So this is exact the rule in my test script where it went wrong. He's giving the test steps like the button is not visible here, and he is creating a screenshot, well, on the field last moment in the test. And this is HTML report you can add to your pipeline or things like that. So you have an artifact in your DevOps pipeline. You can go back to check if your test worked or not. There's another little cool thing I want to show you, because what I did here is just go back to my config. Well, I talked about the viewports, right? It's like a desktop Chromium browser in different viewports. But with Playwright, you even have the possibility to use an emulator like the iPhone. Let's do this one. Let's go back to my test and let me show you how that goes. So I'm saying, well, only give me this one. And I can tell you now, it will fill, because the cool thing about WebKit on Safari is she's always asking you when you're doing a Power Apps start, do you want to open the Power Apps app or do you want to continue in the browser? These are the things you have to work around. But cool to show you. And what you see here is just a typical, the typical iPhone 12 device viewport. And when I click continue in the browser, it will start the app immediately, but it's not running the test again because it's already filled. Well, when I go to the report now again, see, I've got only did one test, right? And the same happens here. So you're getting this screenshot here. So you exactly know where went wrong. So one time back to the script. The thing with Playwright is, well, it's you can record your test, you can write your test, just TypeScript, JavaScript, and what you see here is, and that's what I meant with the HTML. It's all in an iframe, so a pretty cool. Playwright just dives into the iframe and it gets all kinds of stuff from the iframe. That's pretty cool. But I think the most important thing to know about Playwright at this moment is, you probably need three things. Is the go-to, because you need a place to be and to test. These locators, so it can be anything like a label, a text box, a drop-down box, images, things like that. And you can use the expectations, so the assertions. It's like a true-false situation. So when I put in, this is my locator, the page locator is the button that has the name add new time registration. When I put it in here, this is my false melding, my false message. And this is an important one because I use the to be visible in user interface testing because you want to see if elements and things like that are working. But you have the to be hidden to, or to be was a long list of assertions you can use to check if the if it is there, not there, certain colors, things like that. So that's, I think, in a nutshell, for what I want to show you with the, let me look at my list, not forgetting anything. Well, the other cool, let's tell you that. There's a functionality in the Playwright library to check accessibility. It works quite the same way. You can choose what kind of accessibility you want to test, but you can give elements locators just to check these locators on accessibility, like accessibility labels or tooltips or things like that. Well, I was thinking in the preparation, I think this is enough for half an hour. So I'm happy that I'm not prepared a lot of other things for now. But hey, I hope you liked it. You learned something and you can use it now. If you have any questions, please let me know. Because, well, there's one more thing I want to tell you. One more thing, because I like Playwright. I work with it on a daily basis at the moment with a project, but don't ever forget to proper test with your real users, because they even got more value than this one. So thank you very much. It's not doing it anymore. There it is.
Thank you, Arjan. That was amazing. Really, really interesting. Really I like the fact that you're doing the slideshow in VS Code as well.
Yeah.
It's very cool. I have just a quick question before we go to the wrap up. When you're running your tests, let's say that they're inserting data into your database, how do you then reset everything? Do you have a process for that?
There's just in your Dataverse entities, you mean? Or
yeah.
Yeah. Well, just what we always do in the project I'm working on at the moment is just edit, remove it, because normally you want to remove the test to remove it too. But if you take a look at Playwright, and it's too much, I think, for now, but you have even got API testing and things like that. So it goes way beyond what I showed you in the last 30 minutes.
And performance-wise, you haven't noticed any troubles with having lots and lots of tests?
Well, you need when you drive it locally, you need a fast a fast machine. But it's you have all kinds of settings to do it simultaneously or after each other. So it's one after the other. So you can play around with that a lot.
Cool.
If you like.
Thank you. Yeah, it's really interesting. Very, very nice. I will just wrap up for us so we can announce what's coming next. So next month's call, which of course is on the 11th of June, which is on a Wednesday, we've got David Lorenzo talking about creating an accessible Power App to book event tickets. So this is again with Canvas apps and accessibility. And we've got Gabrielle, I don't know how you pronounce his surname. How do you pronounce that, Anya?
Rizio,
Maurizio,
okay.
yeah. With the case for consistency, which is about reusing design patterns. So it's a very design-focused talk. So yeah, really looking forward to both of those. And we've got that it's on Sunday, but it's actually on Wednesday. We forgot to update that. So yeah, please feel free to use the QR code, or Anya's put the website address in the chat, so you can just click on that and register for next month's call. And finally, a big thank you to Juliana and Arjan, of course. Amazing talks, both very different, but also can be used in conjunction with each other and very interesting as well. And also, Arjan, loved the design of your app. It looks really cool. So we have a feedback form there for everyone if they would like to fill in some feedback for today's session. There'll also be a link in the chat. Thank you, Anya. And yeah, feel free to go to our YouTube channel. We've got all of our historic events. We'll be putting this up within 24 hours, hopefully. And we've got our link tree there, which links to all of our different accounts. And yeah, our LinkedIn group as well. Feel free to join that, and you can post in there. And I believe that's everything. We're only 10 minutes late. That's not too bad. And the sun is still shining, here at least.
Same here. Thank you so much to our
Same in the
presenters.
Netherlands.
Nice. Yeah, lovely weather across Europe. It's great. All right. Thank you all, and have a lovely day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.